You don't even have it facing me. Wait, what's 120 degrees?
It's a wider angle.
And by what angle? You already started it. Is this what it's going to be like every time? You're just going to start it without saying anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta catch, all the candid stuff.
It's like candid camera.
This is
without
behind
visual.
the scenes.
Behind the scenes. What are we going to talk about, guys?
Alright, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hi. Welcome to Murder on Fleet Street. I'm Keith.
I'm James.
I'm Megan. Sorry.
With a face full of food.
Yeah. Sorry.
Today we well, I didn't know anything about it, but James found out that there is an active serial killer in Florida, so he's gonna read a little bit about that, and then we're gonna get into our stories.
Okay, so far there's 3 victims in this one neighborhood in Tampa, Florida, called something. Hold on, watch it.
Tampa, Florida, called something.
Something.
Florida. It's got a cool name. It's like a neighborhood that I would like to live in.
I think you gotta get closer.
I probably do. Here.
Or move the table closer to you.
I'll move the chair close. Not to get them. I'll be shouting effects. Golly, I wish I was more prepared.
Yeah, I mean, you knew it was this was
Well,
happening.
yeah, but I didn't research it until like 40 minutes ago.
He said, golly.
That's in our what's it called? Briefing? No, description. Golly G. Willikers.
Seminole Heights. It's a historic neighborhood in Tampa, Florida. So far, 3 victims, and they don't seem connected.
So we don't even know if this is a serial killer.
Well, see, yeah, even the police were like, he doesn't want to. The police chief was like, I don't want to, put labels on it because they really have no evidence. Well, all they know is that they're random shootings and that they're in the same neighborhood within a mile of each other, and that's how they think they're connected.
They have a person on, they have like a footage too.
Yeah,
Someone in a
they
hoodie.
have a suspicious person on some like security footage.
Yeah.
But other than that, they don't have jack. So they're telling people, they don't want to say it's a serial killer, but it seems that they're connected. And other than that, there's no connection. Like they're within a same age group, 20s and 30s.
But the victims all look different.
And they're shot, and they're both men and women.
They were all shot with a different gun.
Yeah, I think one's a woman and 2 men, right?
Yeah, it's a woman and 2 men, and all of them were on the bus, I believe.
I think so.
And then they got off at like vacant stops, and then they were.
And one of them got on the wrong bus by accident.
Yeah, the last victim got on the wrong, or he got off at the wrong stop by
Wrong
accident,
stop.
and so he was alone. I think he was the youngest. He was like 20 years old.
Oh, that sucks.
Um,
I mean, it all sucks, but just to get off at the wrong stop and then that's your day, that's pretty terrible.
yeah. So the first victim. Jeez, this article. Okay. You can edit all this silence out.
Oh, while you're looking, I'll just, I'm actually going to do the story of Scott and Scott and Laci Peterson today, which it's not really, it's something I just found out about, which is weird because it's apparently a national
Yeah, it's pretty
story.
old. Well, not super old, but.
And, yeah, it was the early 2000s. And, or was it? I don't even know. I researched the thing and I don't even know the dates.
Okay, the first victim, his name is Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell.
He was killed at around 9 p.m. on October 9th near North 15th Street while waiting at the bus stop. The second victim,
2002. I looked it up.
the second victim, Miss Hoffa, apparently was killed 2 days later, also shot in the evening, about half a mile from the first shooting. But her body wasn't found until the 13th.
Her name's not as good as the other guy.
That's rude. She's dead too.
I'm sorry,
Too
Mr.
soon.
Mr.
Too
Mitchell
soon.
is.
There's like a time limit before you can start making jokes about people.
But Mr. Mitchell is a badass name.
The third victim, Mr. Now, I'm not gonna say this right. Naiboa, I think it's what it is.
Maybe Naboa.
It could be Naiboa. I don't know. But he got off at the wrong bus stop and was shot on October 19th around 8 p.m. So they were all killed in the evening and all, getting off of a bus.
So maybe this guy really just has a thing for buses. Huh? He sees the
don't
bus
know,
and he's
like,
like, yeah.
They haven't started putting cameras or near bus stops and stuff because I mean that just kind of seems
Well,
people get robbed and stuff.
they
at
do
bus
in like
stops
major
and-
cities, don't they? Like Houston.
Yeah, the larger cities, they have, cameras
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But this is like a older historical neighborhood. So, it's not as gentrified. The parts of it, I'm sure, are, but
It's not as what?
gentrified. Like they
Don't be
come-
using them big
they
words
come
around
in and
me.
they clean up and they bring in, younger crowd and they, to
Gingerfied.
yeah, gentrified. Yeah, and they weren't robberies. They weren't.
So he didn't take
They
anything
didn't
from.
take anything, didn't leave anything, just shot him and left. Apparently.
Was it like one shot? Did you say? Just shot him?
And it was all shootings.
And they were all shootings.
Hmm.
But yeah, so they've put a lot more cops in the area. People are keeping their kids inside. People are afraid to go outside. People are afraid to take the bus. So
Because something like this hadn't happened here before.
no,
Or,
I assume it's like a nicer area.
I mean,
I assume
it's
crime.
Tampa.
I assume crime in this area is limited, but shootings and within a short amount of time and in the same neighborhood, it's a pretty scary thing. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and that girl's parents over here in the fort got murdered, and I was like, holy shit! They didn't catch the guy.
Was I not born yet?
When were you born?
I was born 89.
89? You were born. You were like an infant. No, you were probably like 3 years old.
Popping open that newspaper.
I was like 12 and I was watching TV and I was like, holy shit, there's a murderer and they didn't catch him. And
He's
I was
coming
scared.
for all of us.
Right, he's coming for everybody in the same town.
That's how it always is here, though. Like, I was the same way. Anytime anything happened, I was like, well, we gotta lock down the house.
You're still like that. Like that's that's not bad. It's good
That's
to,
true.
to-
I hear about somebody like tripping and falling. I'm like, I gotta repave the driveway.
Put down some sticky paper like in the tub.
That's right. I've just got mats of it stacked up. There's about 30 of them in there.
I lock the doors. I lock every door. I even lock my bedroom door.
Dude, okay, here's something I don't get. You watch horror movies and something bad happens. Why do they have to run to every window to lock the window?
Yeah.
Like,
Why aren't they already locked?
yeah, why do you have every window in your house unlocked?
Mine are locked. Second story, they're locked. Like they ain't
Oh.
bringing no ladders in there.
That's right.
Like they could come prepared.
They
You
could
know.
have brought a ladder.
You know.
So that's pretty much it with that.
Yeah. Residents say that it's normally a pretty peaceful neighborhood, so they're all on edge, and they've altered bus routes so that no one is the same. So, how are you gonna miss a bus? I don't know. I mean,
He's just gonna wait till he sees a bus and
Yeah.
he's like,
I mean, it's not the same bus they're not getting on or off the same bus. At least they haven't said that.
I think they should look for disgruntled employees first. Like, I think it's a guy that's pissed off. He got fired from the bus company or something.
Even if it is one person,
Oh, yeah.
it seems to me like they got a bit of an anger problem.
A little.
With the bus company. I solved it.
Maybe they just don't like people that ride the bus.
Who knows? Will telling the story and update next episode? Or
There was 2 men that were tortured and murdered in the same neighborhood in 2003.
What?
So
Really?
I guess they're not completely.
That's why they're scared.
Yeah.
they think the guy got out and now he's.
Well, no, he's one of the suspects is being tried on murder charges.
Oh.
So he's still.
So
Does
it's
it say why he
definitely.
was
I
tortured?
hope they didn't let him out on bond. But
They're like, hey, you've been here since 2003. We're gonna go ahead.
he's
and
not
let
a
you
flight
out.
risk. Yeah, but he butchered some people.
He tortured animals and children.
So yeah, people in the neighborhood should be on the lookout. Report suspicious behavior. That's key.
In Tampa.
In Tampa.
What's the other place called? Or the neighborhood?
neighborhood?
Seminole Heights.
I like that name.
That's like a nice name, though.
Yeah, it's somewhere I would live.
Or a name that's in like a scary movie.
Yeah. Like Elm Street,
Yeah, Church Street.
Camp Crystal Lake. Sounds nothing like either of
No, it
those.
doesn't. But good try, good try. So,
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's all the information they have right now.
Alright.
Which is basically, even the police chief said they really have no information other than they think they're related because
They think 3 people got murdered.
they said because they're shootings and they're all within a mile, and 2 of the bodies were found on the same street.
Oh shit.
it's time to move.
Yeah, everybody's just like, yeah, we're getting the hell out of this. That's the recorder. You're up.
No, I don't want to go first.
Why?
Because I'm so nervous.
Why?
I just am. I don't do well with stuff like this. Like, fine.
You really want me to go first?
Yes, of course. Yes, I'd love for you to go first.
Alright. Do y'all know about Scott and Laci?
Yes.
He's like, it hadn't even been recorded.
I was just about to say that, like, dude, I didn't hit record.
Do y'all, okay, well,
I
you
keep
do.
hitting the table.
Do you know
I have no information on what you're going to talk about.
Scott and Laci Peterson?
Yeah.
Alright, well, let me tell you. Gather round.
I'm gathered. Come on.
Okay, I mean, what kind of stuff do y'all want to know? Do you want his backstory?
A little bit. I mean,
Okay.
It wasn't always a POS.
Well, we don't know that.
This is true.
I mean, he is lying.
Scott Peterson.
I knew him when I was a kid. He was born in 72, October.
1970?
Yeah, 1972. Because I told you
1872.
it happened in 2002.
Hmm.
You think he's that old?
I was reading an article when you were talking.
Oh, that's right. When I interrupted you. Okay. Yeah, Scott Lee Peterson was born October 24th, 1972 in San Diego, California. I didn't write his parents' names down because
We don't even know that.
I'm terrible with research.
How are we going to handle this without knowing his genealogy?
I know. I've got another sheet of paper. It's got his whole family tree. And then under what I just read you, I wrote again that he was born in San Diego, California. For some reason. He worked as a caddy at a local golf course when he was in high school. That's
the first time right there.
it's kind of important later on, but not. And he met Laci when he was working at a cafe called San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo?
Sure. As a waiter. And she wrote her number down on a piece of paper and gave it to another waiter to give to Scott, but he thought it was a joke, so he just threw it away. And then she came back another day and was like, hey, here's my number. Call me sometime. Rude? Yeah, for real. She was like, you're a piece of shit, but I still want to be with you. Or, hang out, go on a date, whatever. So they got married in 1997. Okay, this is where it all happened. When it all happened. December 24th, 2002. Scott reported 8-month pregnant Laci missing after he returned home from a fishing trip at the Berkeley Marina, which was pretty far away. I think they said it was like 90 miles from his house. And keep in mind, December 24th. Like, what are you doing on December 24th? Going on a fishing trip?
Oh no, you're getting some rest.
Reports had said that they were supposed to actually be going to dinner at her family's home later that afternoon. So, of course, it makes sense that he woke up and at 9:30 in the morning was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go fishing," and she was like, "Yeah, good. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That sounds good to me."
Maybe he was catching dinner.
Yeah, he was catching dinner. Unfortunately, he didn't come home with any fish, and apparently only stayed out there for an hour and a half.
He did it.
Exactly.
It's about almost exactly how long it takes to dump a body.
See, that's exactly what everyone says, but there are some other things that could have happened that...
Well, I mean, and two, he had said that it was either between fishing or golfing, but he didn't want to golf.
Hey, who's telling the story here?
I'm just saying.
Okay. Scott reported seeing Laci at around 9:30 a.m. before leaving for the fishing trip. He had woke up, they had breakfast, and he decided he wanted to go golfing, but it was too cold. So
This is 2 days before Christmas.
No, the 24th, the day before Christmas. So he decided he was going to go fishing, and he said that she was fine with that, which I think is bullshit. And that she decided that she was going to go on a jog and walk the dog.
So he couldn't handle cough. He couldn't handle golf in the cold, but she's pregnant, right?
Yeah, 8 months.
And she's gonna go jog in the cold.
Yeah.
Walk the dog, and he's still going on a boat.
It's
out
gonna be even
in the
colder.
water.
Which is freaking cold.
Yeah.
Okay. When he was done fishing, he called Laci on the house phone, cell phone. She didn't answer. He left her a message, which he was saying that he wouldn't be able to go to the store to pick up some stuff, so he was wondering if she could do it. And you can actually hear the message, but I don't have you probably find it on YouTube. He said when he got home, though, he saw her car in the driveway, and he went to open the back gate. Back gate's closed. Opens it, sees the dog running around with its leash still on. Think about it for a second. Opens the back gate, and the dog's running around the backyard with the leash still on. Okay? How'd the dog get in the backyard?
Maybe they never left the backyard.
But he's saying that the dog made its way back to the house.
And jumped the gate?
I don't think it jumped a fence.
Somebody let the dog in.
Maybe. Ooh, got lost. Oh, he saw that the back door was open, so he got kind of nervous. But inseam, that said inseam of trying to find Laci. Instead of trying to find Laci, he went inside, washed all of his clothes that he was wearing, ate some pizza, showered, then called Laci's mother, Sharon, wrote her name down for some reason, and said, "Hey, Laci's missing."
Was he like waiting for her to show up?
No, I didn't catch that. But he asked if she was over there. They said no. He said, "Okay, she's missing." And
I mean, I guess I can understand not jumping to the worst case scenario. Like, oh, she's supposed to walk the dog. The dog is still in the backyard with the leash still on his neck, and the back door is just hanging wide open. Maybe she's inside. Okay, she's not inside. Maybe she ran to the store or something.
but her car was there.
Ran to the store.
She ran to the store. Well, she didn't jog. I mean, she walked.
Okay, she walked.
Yeah,
but she walked. But yeah, 8 months pregnant. I don't imagine she got very far.
No.
By herself.
But
I'm just trying to say that I could see, not immediately jumping to the conclusion that something bad happened, unless because he knew something bad happened.
exactly. But at the same time, I think it was a house across the street was reported a robbery. So one of the theories is that she was kidnapped during the robbery because she came home and they saw her, she saw them, so they kidnapped her. But then still, the dog being in the backyard, it doesn't make sense.
They're like, "You're coming with us." She's like, "Let me put my dog up."
And they were like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, we don't want to deal with that.
So they searched the trail that she would have taken to go to the park and the park itself, and nothing was found. They checked the house, and it looked like there was no signs of a struggle or break-in or any kind of forced entry. No fingerprints, no evidence. The whole time that all this going on, Scott wasn't in a panic at all. Just calm as can be. Didn't seem like he cared.
Maybe he's got nerves of steel.
Did it for real. So Detective Al Al Pacino became a detective to solve this case. Now, these people got the weirdest names. Brochini. Maybe you can figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's Borchini.
Al Brochini. He asked Scott to take him to show him the boat that he went out in. And something I found weird, they showed pictures on the thing I was looking at, and it looks like the boat was like blocked in. It was old, rusty. Looked like it hadn't been out near water at all. It didn't look wet. But I mean, it could have dried on the trip back because it was 90 miles away.
And how long between when he went fishing between the day and inspected?
He went and inspected that day. Or the day after. I think it was that day though. But actually, Laci's mother and father had no idea that Scott even had a boat, and she was like, "Hey, where'd the boat even come from?" Because they were pretty close. So, and he was like, "Oh, it was gonna be a present for Ron," but the boat looks like shit.
And it's not a boat like you're thinking. It's like a little,
like metal boat.
Like
yeah,
a little fishing boat?
yeah, like a little
like not
tin
even
boat.
a fishing boat. It's like a little.
Like when you go, hopefully you're only catching like 3 or 4 fish because you're not fitting anything else on this little boat.
But guess what kind of fish he was trying to catch that day?
Catfish.
Sturgeons.
Sturgeon.
You ever heard of a sturgeon? They're fucking huge. Yeah, that's what he's trying to get.
Maybe he was just gonna drag them behind the boat on the way back.
Yeah.
He's gonna tie a.
Whenever whenever they get to
What'd you do, Keith?
yeah, whenever they get to the place where the boat is being held, Scott's like, "Hey, the power's out, so you can't really do anything." But Brochini was like, "Just open up the door and I'll shine my headlights in. I'm just gonna take a few pictures." So Scott lets him. Later, the detective called to find out about the power outage, and they told him that there never was one. So he was obviously trying to hide something.
First lie.
Yeah, by not letting him turn the lights on.
If you're a cop, though, if someone tells you that, are you just gonna be like, "Oh, okay"? Like you wouldn't just try to flip a switch just to see if it comes on or not. Like that was weird to
Well,
me.
I guess they had
maybe
no
he doesn't
reason.
know where the light switch is. Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
If it's that dark in there.
The next day, Scott is brought in for an interview. The entire time, he shows like no sense of urgency. He's still calm, doesn't care. They're asking him questions. He's not like if you didn't murder your wife and you're being interviewed, like you would be like, this is pointless. You know, you should be out there trying to find my wife. He's just in there.
Yeah, but if you did murder your wife, you'd probably be acting the same way. The only person that wouldn't be is if you were a sociopath, and which sounds like this guy is. He's just like, this is all just a, slight inconvenience. Like, it'll be over soon.
Yeah, we'll be all right. You'll be back to your job, and I'll be back to doing nothing. During the interview, Broccini, I swear I'm saying the name wrong. He asked Scott, like, hey, will you come in and do a polygraph? You know, we'll set one up. And he says, of course, yeah, I'll do it. You know, I want to clear my name. Day comes to do the polygraph. Scott calls Broccini and says, hey, I'm not going to do that. With no reason. He's just like, yeah, I'm not.
Other than they're not admissible in court, so why would you? Either way.
I mean, the detective just wanted to do it, so.
Innocent people fail all the time, and guilty people pass all the time, so that is true. They're completely useless.
But
they
why,
use it as a guide.
Why say that you're going to and then just change your mind for no reason?
Maybe he went and got a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, never take a polygraph test.
Well, listen to this. Scott is then later issued a search warrant for his home. One where he has to sign consent. Refuses to. Tells Detective Broccini, hey man, where's the trust? He says, I'm not going to sign this without a lawyer looking at it. Fishy? No?
Yeah, a little.
No. Okay, so the entire time all of this is going on, everybody's doing everything they can to find Laci. They set up
search team?
Yeah, well, not a search team. Like her family and friends, they go to a rec center, I guess you'd call it.
Oh, they set up a hotline?
Yeah, like a hotline, a place where people can come and get information, flyers, all this stuff. They've got pictures all over the wall of Laci. Anytime Scott went in there and saw a picture of himself on the wall, though, he made them take it down. Any picture of him that was ever placed anywhere, they made them take it down. Because he kept saying he wanted it to be about Laci, not about him. And they were like, well, I mean, she's your wife. You know, you're in some of these pictures. People are going to know either way. But he was like, no, I don't want my picture anywhere. So, you know, they do that. So while the police are still searching, they are adamant that she's in the bay where Scott said that he was fishing. The whole time that the police boats are out there doing their thing, dragging the lake or whatever, he's renting cars, going up there, seeing where they're searching. But Broccini never hears from Scott, like saying, hey, how's it going? Like, are you finding anything? You know, are there any clues? Nothing. He just goes there to see where they're looking. Drives back home.
Why does he rent a car?
Yeah, he doesn't. I didn't say.
Weird.
Because he thought that would be traced to him, I guess, if someone's home?
I guess. I actually did not do very good research.
It's just weird, because she had a car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously he had a car.
Well, I mean, they might have been kept in impound for, like, searching for evidence. Or...
yeah, I guess they could have impounded it to process it
Yeah.
as evidence. But if they had no, he could only consent to that, because right now all they have is suspicion. They don't have anything to really get a warrant to search his house forcefully or his car. So unless he consented to a search of his car, which
he
doesn't seem like he would have so far.
Well, he probably did it just to try and stay sneaky.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
it's been a while since she's been missing, and they hold this memorial for her, like, because she's gone, everybody's sad, you know, she might be dead. Family's depressed, they're up there giving speeches, we want our daughter back, everybody's in tears. Wait a minute, where's Scott? He ain't talking about Laci. He's not up on that stage. Where do you think Scott is?
He's fishing?
You're damn right. No, Scott was not fishing. The family said...
This time he went golfing.
This time he went golfing. No, the family said that they didn't even know Scott was there that night. They didn't see him or anything, but it turns out Scott was there. Guess what he was actually doing? This is exactly what I wrote down. He was actually at the memorial on his phone with his side piece. With his side piece. Her name is Amber Fry. It's spelled like Frey, F-R-E-Y, but it's Fry. He's so... Oh, he told her he was at a New Year's celebration in France. You can hear the phone conversation on an interview I watched, and he's saying, "Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm by the Eiffel Tower. There's many people. Yeah, it's this.
It's like, dude, you're at your wife's memorial. You piece of garbage."
Okay, he's guilty.
He's guilty. She recorded the entire conversation, and we'll find out why. Amber and Scott met November 20th, 2002. Just a month before Laci went missing. Scott lied to her saying that he wasn't married and they had started a relationship together, but the friend that had set them up, what?
Didn't he tell her that he was married but that she died?
No. I'm getting to that. The friend that had set Scott and Amber up actually found out that Scott was still married because she saw this story of... Oh, no. That's later. She saw his Facebook or something of him with Laci. So she told Scott, either you tell Amber or I'm going to tell her.
She, his friend?
No, Amber's friend. Oh. So he said, okay, I'll tell Amber. And when he did, he started to get all emotional and crying and like as if he had lost his wife or was about to. He told her, this is going to be the first holiday that I'm without her. A little weird, right? A little weird that he's telling her that. When Laci had gone missing, December 24th, a little 4 days over a month later, Amber had no idea. She didn't see it on the news or anything until her friend saw, and she told Amber, hey, that dude that you've been dating is on the news every night talking about his missing wife. She immediately called Modesto PD and told them everything about her and Scott's relationship. And whenever she was on the phone because they had set up a hotline for people that were calling in with tips, Brochini had actually been in the thing whenever she had called in, and he was looking over the lady typing all of her story, and he was reading it, and he was like, is that lady on the phone right now? She was like, yeah. So Brochini talked to Amber. He bought her a recording device that could plug into her phone, so any phone conversations could be done, and that's how they got the...
so she set him up.
Yeah, the memorial phone conversation. As soon as it was released to media, everyone turns on Scott. Everyone believes he's guilty. And except for his parents, I think that they were still like adamant that
They
he
still
was
don't believe
innocent.
that he did it.
Even Jeffrey Dahmer's parents were like,
He's such a good boy.
but he's always a sweet kid.
April 23rd, April 2003. What was it? 4 months? 4 months after her disappearance? There was a real bad storm. 2 bodies are recovered from a marina very close to where Scott said he was fishing. And a mile away, no, 1 body was recovered at that marina, and a mile away, the body of an unborn baby were found. Autopsies show that they were the bodies of Laci and their unborn baby, which they had a name for, and I did write Connor. Laci and Connor.
I think I remember seeing that on the news when they were found.
April 18th, Scott is arrested. Officers follow Scott, said he was driving insanely, going way over the speed limit, slamming on his brakes, making sharp turns, driving real erratic. And he's pulling into...
I forget where he was. Is this when he did his hair and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'll get to that.
I'm sorry.
He's pulling into a golf course. Again, where his father-in-law, I think is, or his dad. Didn't write it down again. Cops turn on their lights, pull him over immediately. He's dyed his hair blonde. He's grown facial hair. He looks like a complete mess. And he's a good-looking guy. Whenever this whole story's going on, his black hair, real short, real trimmed up, like a preppy guy. He's now let himself go. Dyed blonde hair, goatee, looks like shit. They pull him over, and here's what's found in his car. Approximately $15,000 in cash, 4 cell phones, several credit cards belonging to various family members, a bunch of camping equipment, including knives, implements for warming food, tent, tarps, and water purifier, a dozen pair of shoes, several changes of clothes, a double-edged dagger, a MapQuest map to Amber Fry's workplace, printed out the previous day because, shows you the timestamp and everything, a shovel, a rope, 24 blister packs of sleeping pills, Viagra, and his brother's driving license.
Viagra.
Jesus. Yeah. All of this was found in his car. Like, who has all that? So you know that this dude's going on the run.
Maybe he was going on a fun camping trip.
Shit. After they arrest him,
did he have rope?
Yeah, I read that.
Okay, he was doing some bad shit.
If there was no rope, he'd be in the clear.
Did I say rope?
Yeah, I thought you did. I
don't think I heard rope. He had food, tent, tarp, knives.
No, a shovel and rope.
Shovel and rope and Viagra.
Viagra and 24 blister packs of sleeping pills.
So it sounds like he's going to
drug
kidnap
somebody.
and drug his side piece. And take her out to the woods and
dude, probably
have sex with her?
I don't know about that.
Then why the Viagra, Keith?
Bears.
Why the Viagra?
You never know.
Bears. Feed it to bears and
there you go. So after they pick him up, he's arrested. They tell him, hey, they found the bodies, but at this point they didn't know if it was Laci and Connor yet. But when they decided to get him, because the bodies are in the spot he was fishing, it's a woman and an unborn boy, so they know. But they're waiting for evidence. They're driving. They get the call. It's Laci and Connor. Scott looks over to Broccini and he's like, "Tell me it wasn't them." Come on, dude. They pull into a fast food place and they're like, "Hey, you want something to eat?" And this was in an interview too. Broccini said he has never seen anyone get such bad news whenever they're still saying they're innocent, they had nothing to do with it, and be able to eat an entire meal.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, how could you be hungry after?
Well, they went to, I think it was 2 or 3 different places too to get his food. He wanted a burger from somewhere and fries from another place. And then I think they stopped somewhere else to get him like a shake or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know about
so
all that.
it wasn't even like he was hungry, but he was picky hungry. Like that's
yeah,
weird.
like I mean, if you're like a stress eater,
yeah,
you know, then you're just gonna go to the nearest place and get something. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
but it's not, you know, I wouldn't.
But no, this dude. So, of course, he's arrested. During the trial, everything became so hostile that they actually had to move where he was being tried from Modesto to Redwood City because people were, you know, threatening him and all sorts of stuff, calling him a murderer. Things got violent. So the judge had the trial moved. And, you know, found guilty, and he has gone for appeals and, you know, he continues to say he's innocent, but I think it's all
bullshit. Does he offer up any other kind of solution?
I think his thing was that the people robbing the house across the street were the ones that had everything to do with it.
I mean, it was probably him that robbed the house across the street.
Yeah, I didn't actually look into that either.
And the reason why they had to wait too for the results to figure out if it was Laci is because she didn't have. It was just her torso that was found.
Yeah. I forgot. I didn't want to write that down, but her head was severed because they think that he weighed the body down, and then with the tides, the current, it ripped her head. Mm. Yeah. I didn't really want to mention that.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's the gist of Scott and Laci Peterson.
And like it's hard too because there was people that said that they saw Laci walking her dog all over the place, and
yeah, that day it was reported that a pregnant woman was walking a dog. They found that lady looks just like Laci, and they talked to her.
Wow.
Yeah, she was walking the dog the same trail that Laci would have walked.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Did they say what was stolen from the house across the street?
No. Dude, I did terrible research, okay? I've had how many weeks to do this now?
I did mine in one day, but that's because I already knew a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you knew a lot. I hadn't even heard of this story until recently.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff out there.
When you talked about when her body was found, I remember seeing it on the news now. Back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. So that was my story, and we've actually run out of time for another story. So that will be done tomorrow.
Yeah, that was like 45 minutes.
That's
Oh, cool.
not too bad.
Yeah, that story will be done tomorrow and uploaded most likely the next day.
This is 3:30 already?
No, I mean, we've got 10 minutes. We can talk about anything else. I think next week I'm going to do the toy box killer, which I know nothing about. I actually heard it from another podcast. So I'm kind of interested in looking that one up because it just sounds weird. Yeah.
I think I'm going to talk about a cannibalism case. A really good one.
Oh my
God. Dude, you picked the gory stuff.
Yeah. Because it's the most interesting.
I think the toy box killer is actually a pretty bad one.
The stuff that people can do to each other. It's pretty twisted.
Oh, you're gonna do a cannibalism case, Jeffrey Dahmer. Got it.
No, not Dahmer.
Pinned down.
No, this one's not. This one's not as well known.
Well, I mean, who?
That's good sometimes though to do them
I'm
on
gonna
people.
tell you.
Oh, you're gonna leave it a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then the people listening
I
can
will.
go
I
and
will
search.
tell you though, it's a case of voluntary cannibalism.
What do you mean voluntary? Isn't it always voluntary?
Well, no, sometimes people.
I mean, the victim volunteers to be eaten.
Oh,
What?
Yeah. Okay, that's
Oh.
disturbing.
Yeah, that's not the most disturbing.
Hey,
part.
you know what we didn't turn off this entire time?
It's really soft though. Huh?
I guarantee that it's picking.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the recorder picks it up.
You got a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, hopefully I can take it out. Hopefully not a lot.
Well,
So go ahead and talk about what case you're going to be doing tomorrow.
the Texas Killing Fields. I'm ready.
What's that?
Now I can't tell you because then, I mean,
Just give us
What you gonna talk about, Keith? If she
Yeah,
tells you now?
God.
if what she talks about tomorrow is 5 minutes
It's-
worth of...
just kind
I was telling Keith earlier that I listened to the recording like two or three times, and I came to two conclusions. One, I got a potty mouth, and I'm trying to clean it up a little bit. And two, have you seen that TV show Freaks and Geeks?
yes.
You know the nerdy guy with glasses who's allergic to everything?
Yes.
I sound like that fucking kid.
What happened to not being a potty mouth? You're being a potty mouth right now.
This is a candid conversation. I can be potty
Yeah.
mouth. Besides, they can't hear me over the force scrubber. So.
And we've explained our situation. You know, right now we're having to do it on the break, at work.
Hopefully,
So,
and I'm going to go ahead and say this, hopefully next week we will be in our recording studio. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. Studio. It's actually, it's a fucking shed.
It's a shed. It's a recording shed.
It's a recording shed. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Last time I went to go and vacuum the shed, and there's a rat or a mouse.
A rat and or a mouse.
No,
or both.
no, just it's one or the other.
Or a possum.
It's not a possum. I saw
Or
it.
the turds this big or this big.
Dude, I just vacuumed that shit up. I didn't look.
Well, I got some traps and some.
Well, my dad's got traps.
We're gonna be recording, and you're just gonna hear the trap.
Just
Murder live. There's murder on Fleet Street. Murder in the shed. That's what we should change the name to.
what?
No.
Murder in the shed?
That'll be our subtitle. Murder on Fleet Street. Murder shed.
Murder shed?
Murder shack.
Oh, there you go. Now they're really gonna think we're
The
hillbillies.
killing shed.
I'm like, where are these people from? The sticks?
What do you use the shed for? Skinning animals. And people.
We don't though. It's just for our lawnmower.
Only in Texas do they have a whole other building to house your lawnmower.
Dude, legit, it is basically just to keep the mowing equipment.
And your mom's Christmas ladder.
Oh yeah, and the Christmas
ladder.
It's a ladder where we could put our
Like the
village.
little town, the village stuff.
Yeah.
Not to climb on.
Gotcha. I thought it was
You
like
can
a
only use it
special
to
ladder
put up
only
Christmas
used for
decorations.
decorating for Christmas. It's got like outlets in it to test the Christmas lights. I'm gonna make one of those. It'll sell.
Probably would.
It will. Well, this has been Murder on Fleet Street. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we like recording it. No? Join us next time. Tell your friends. Oh, and I forgot to do this last time, but we do have a Facebook, a Twitter,
Instagram.
and an Instagram. If you look up MOFS Podcast on Twitter and Facebook, you can find us. And we should come up under Murder on Fleet Street with Instagram.
I am not on Twitter.
Me either.
Yeah, we don't have personal Twitters, but we have one for the podcast, and I have yet to actually post anything on any of our social media.
Yeah, you
Good
should be
job.
posting things about what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, I set it up to automatically post the episodes to all 3 of those whenever we. Oh, not Instagram because that's not a.
Yeah, that's not right.
But we'll do Twitter. Oh, we have a YouTube also.
YouTube.
We do?
A YouTube A, yeah.
Hmm.
So it will post to YouTube also.
Oh, the podcast.
Yeah, it puts our logo and
I can film it, but y'all don't want to be on camera, do you?
Not right now. When we're in the shed, yeah.
Yeah, in the shed, not here.
In the shade.
Yeah. I don't want to be in my vest.
But again, thank you for listening.
Probably couldn't do it anymore. Where we work would be like.
Give me lots of editing to do.
God, I'm sorry.
All right, yeah. Thanks for listening. We got to go back to work.
This, all right.
We'll see you tomorrow actually. Bye.
Bye.
James just
Let me
died.
get him a napkin.
Oh no.
How do I stop it?
Oh,